Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to do some junk journal layout ideas or page ideas, and I have definitely shown these ideas before, but I just wanted to do an updated video because that's what I'm working on, and I'm going to show you 5 different fun ideas. They're all really simple, and these are just some of my go-to layouts for when I am creating a junk journal. And so we're going to get started. I'll show you the final version and then we'll go through and create each one. I'm not going to decorate each one because this video would be super long, but here we go. The first one is just kind of a play on a little pocket, a side pocket, I guess you could call it. And then you have 3 little pockets on the side. You could also turn this into a belly band and put it in the middle, same idea. This one is kind of like a waterfall little booklet situation, and it's just a nice idea to put in journals because it's already matted for you. You could just put photos, or you could put a journaling card down and do some journaling. So there's that one. This one is a really fun one. It has this little lace-up detail, and it's just a pocket, but I like that you have this space as well for adding something. I love making this type of an envelope, and so you have a little expandable envelope, so when you open it, you'll see you can open it pretty big. And then you have a little pocket back here, and it also opens as a file folder. And then here is one of the, probably one of my most used ideas, and it's just a double side pocket. Has 2 little pockets on the side, and then I did add one on the back too, just to give it a little something extra. I just love how this one looks, and it's really easy to create. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the side pocket and the trio of, I don't have names for these. If you guys want to help me name them, yeah, go ahead. So first of all, you're gonna want to cut down your base paper, and this is going to be the same size or just a bit smaller than your pages. And actually I'm going to measure this because I almost forgot, but I think I'm going for about 5 inches by 7 3/4. So we'll go 7 3/4 by 5. I also made copies of all of these page ideas to put in my own inspiration journal, and so that will be coming soon. Just a way to kind of document and have all of the ideas in one place. Okay, and then you're gonna need a kind of like a scrap piece of paper because you really won't see it, but that is going to be the main pocket on the side. So I'm actually just gonna grab from my little scrap area here. And so this will also be the same height, so 7 3/4. And this one, you can have it be as wide or narrow as you want. I think I'm going to probably make mine about 3 inches. I think that's good. So now you can see we have the little pocket that's going to be on the side, but then just to make it a little bit different, this is something I don't usually do and I wanted to change it up a bit, is the little 3 pockets on the side. And I love this gold paper. I know it's glaring a bit, so I'm going to turn it that way, but I think it makes these pockets really fun. But you could use something like lace or you know, really anything you want, of course. So I'm going to cut that down 3 inches across, and I think I'm going to do about 2.5 inches. That seems to be a good size for the height, because you don't want to make these little pockets too tall, because then you're not really going to be able to fit anything, or then they're going to be overlapping, and I personally like to have a little bit of space in between each one. Okay, so I'm also going to take my little mini hole punch, I think that's what we'll do, and I'm just going to eyeball where the middle is and just punch out kind of like a little slit. You could kind of place these all together and make sure you are getting the little slits somewhat equal. Looks a little bit better, I guess. I'm not usually a perfectionist, but I do like these to be all at the same or close to the same area. Okay, so now, so I sewed all of these. I think I'll go ahead and do, actually no, you know what, I'm gonna use my glue and we will actually glue these on, but you can definitely sew yours on if you would like. I just usually always sew, and I figured, well, let's just go ahead and make this even more simple for today. I might end up going over and sewing when I'm done filming, just because I am actually using these for a custom journal, and I like the look of the sewing detail, but just to show you that it's still going to look really awesome without sewing details. So sorry if I didn't just point out, but I did glue across the 3 edges like that. And if you wanted to do a belly band, you just slide it over into the middle and you would use glue on the top and bottom. And then for these little mini pockets, you're going to just glue around the edges, the 3 edges, keeping the top open. I like to put this one just about all the way down to the bottom. And then we'll take the other one that's going to go on the top, just so I can space them out somewhat equal. Trying to get it as close to the edge as I can. And for the top one, I do leave maybe 1/4 inch, just because if you're going to be putting something in that pocket, you want a little bit of space to be able to grab that out. And then, oh, you know what's so funny is this must be a different size. So I didn't, so this one is not going to fit too well in the middle, but that's okay. We're just going to, let's see if this will work. I'm just going to trim that a bit. I'm not sure how I messed up on the measuring there, but that's okay. These are still going to look, you won't really notice like the size of the pockets once you have something in them. So again, so I'm gonna try to leave just a tad bit of space in between those 3 pockets. And there you go. And again, I'll show you this one that is all decorated. I know it's hard with the glare. So you have the little side pocket here, and then the cute little pockets. This top one, I just put like a little file folder. Okay, so let's put that one to the side and move on to our next idea. So next up is this little waterfall booklet, and so I have everything cut out ready to go. Okay, so I love to use copy paper as a base when I'm covering it with scrapbook paper. Some people think that's weird, but it just works for me. I never have any problems with it. So I have 2 pieces, and they are cut to, I always forget, 8 1/4 by 5 1/8. So then when we fold it down, it's just a slightly bigger than 4 by 6. And I like that size because that's like a full-size picture. I mean, I feel like that's not even really a full-size picture these days because you can print any size, but that's okay. And then I have 7 little photo mats, and they're just scrapbook paper that you know, goes along with the theme I'm working on. And then I also have my base, which is 5 inches by 7 3/4 inch. So I'm going to take my 2 pieces of copy paper, I fold it in half. Now to make this super simple, I actually just going to sew down the center here. You can use hand binding and just stitch it by hand, or you can probably just glue the center together. I think that would be okay because it's just 2 pieces, so. Try to get it right down the center. I think I was definitely a little off because I'm filming at a weird angle, but that's okay. And now we're gonna go ahead and just cover each of these pages with our photo mats. I'm just gonna use glue for this. And I will decorate this cover, but again, I'm gonna do all the decorating off camera just to show you the main part. I could actually film the decorating part. I don't know, we'll see. And I'll also ink up the edges because I did leave a little bit of a frame around each piece. I think that just looks nice. I'm kind of going for that lately. Okay, and I do have repeat designs in here. I'm an outfit repeater, what can I say? So yes, you're just going to continue on here, and then It's just super easy and quick if you have a set of pictures from, you know, like one day or something like that. This is just kind of a nice little layout to have ready to go in your journal, so that you can add, I think, like I said, 7 pictures. So, and you can make this booklet even bigger, but you do have to keep in mind, these do get pretty bulky. If you do put a picture on each side, it's going to get bulky pretty fast. So I do try and hold off on embellishments when I'm doing something like this, but you're also going to see that we'll use a little tie closure to really help everything stay together as well. So I'm just going to finish covering these. Now you can take some lace or twine to go around our little mini journal, and then I like to just go ahead and glue it down. I'm actually going to do something a little bit different for this one, just to be fun and create another little pocket. So I'm going to take just a scrap piece of paper that's going to cover the twine. I'm going to bring it in just so you can see this a bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and just add a little line of glue. Hold that down like that. And then I'm going to glue this little covering over so that we can also have a little pocket on the back of this. If we didn't cover this, you know, you wouldn't be able to put something down all the way. You would just be able to put like a tag or something down to where the string is. I hope that makes sense, since it would be glued down. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and just take my glue again. Make sure you know where the top of your little journal is, or whatever you want to call it, and don't glue the top if you wanted to create this pocket. I'm just going to glue the 3 edges, again keeping, whoops, the top open. I'm doing this pretty messily, but I think it will be alright. And then we're going to glue this straight on down to our mat, or base. I should call it a base. Yes, I should, Jessica. And then you'll have your little pocket. Do I have something? So you can put something in the back here as well. And then your string will stay in place, and you can tie up your little journal, and of course decorating it is the fun. So here we go. Here's our decorated, and I just decorate the front cover so that I can keep all of the pages free for pictures. Oh my gosh. Okay, so next up we're going to create this fun little tie-up pocket. Okay, so we have our base. That's the size of your pages in your journal. So we have 5 inches by 7 3/4. And then we have a second piece that is 4.5 inches by 6 inches. I thought I was going to remember that. And you can change up the size however you would like. So the top, we want to cut a little slit. Now, I don't usually measure this. I usually just take my piece of paper, fold it in half, and I will say that having a double-sided paper is going to make this a bit cuter. So I am going to cut down to about 2.5 inches in the center. So a little slit that's going to be, I can't really see where my fold mark is. Try to get it as straight as you can. Again, I really don't measure this. And then you're going to take your little corner here and you're just going to fold it down to almost the edge, depending on what you like. Now, I think this would be really cute. I'm going to actually crease mine down all the way, but if you were making this for like the top of a journal, or you have room in your journal for dimension, you could actually, instead of folding and creasing this down, you can kind of curl it with a pencil so that it kind of stays up, if that makes sense. But I'm going to put mine down because we don't want to add too much dimension in our journals. And then you're going to go ahead and use a hole punch or an awl if that's all you have. My dog's barking. And I'm going to hole punch maybe like 4 holes across this area right here. I'm just going to eyeball this, honestly. And then you'll do the same to the other side. And make sure to do the same amount of holes and try to get it somewhat in the same placement. And I'm sure that there is probably a way that you could do this to make sure everything is lined up right, but once you have your strings in, it's not really going to show if it's not exact. I just kind of space them out as best I can. There we go. And then I definitely will say, I know I'm not decorating on camera here, but if you have some ink, it really does help to ink up these areas because it really shows the dimension and shows that you have like this fun little fold, I guess. That's silly. Okay, and then again, you're gonna need some twine of some sort, and I just take a rather big piece. I don't know where my other scissors went. And you are going to basically lace this up. I usually start from the bottom, but for this one today, I'm gonna start from the top and see. I'm gonna just lace it from the top to the back like this on each side, and then you're just gonna crisscross it literally like you're lacing up a shoe, all the way down to the bottom or the top, whichever way you decide to go. And so I actually am going to, I hope you can see that, I take it from behind, and I'm going to take the end and just crisscross it over. And then same thing, I'm going to grab from behind the one that we just, the very top one. You guys know how to tie a shoe, so you got this. So just lace this all the way down. And for the last holes, I'm actually going to, instead of lacing it from the top to the back, I'm going to come from the back to the front so that I can show the little tying detail. I hope that makes sense, and I know that we are not focusing here. It's really hard for me to do things like, it's hard for me to do things like this when I can't exactly get it too close to my face. But there we go. So you have the cute tying detail here showing. So I'm just gonna tie a little bow. So like I said, the last one that I did, I laced it to the top. And I just feel like when you tie a bow, the strings get super tangled up if you do it that way, but it's totally up to you. You could add some charms on the ends of these, or you could just leave it as is. So I'm also going to go ahead now and glue down these flaps. I made another one where I actually sewed down the flaps because I sewed the pocket on, so that's another option. I should have probably sewed or glued that first, but that's okay. And then just go ahead and, again, like all of the other pockets, you're just going to glue along the 3 edges. And glue it straight down, there's some string, to your page. And then this is all done. And you can add a super cute tag or a journaling card, something like that. And I love how this one looks. I especially love how this one is looking on the wallpaper backing. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Again, here's the first one that we made. Or not made, but the first one I showed you. So next we are going to create the simple little double pocket. All right, once again, you have your base page. I have a second backing because I do want to create this full pocket. So we'll start by doing that, and I'm just going to, once again, glue. You can always change up where the pocket is open. You can have it open on the sides. I just always choose the top for some reason, but that's totally up to you. And I'm just going to place this straight down. These should be about the exact same size, but there's always a little error with measuring when it comes to me. It's okay. Now we're going to create the double pockets. I'm going to set this aside since it has that glare. Now this is just a tad smaller than our base page, so I made mine 4 3/4 by 7 1/4. I like to just simply take this, fold it exactly in half, decide on which side you want your pockets to be opening up, and I'm going to actually do this left side, which is, I always do the right side for some reason, but change it up a tad. And again, this is one that, even though I'm not going to decorate on camera, I really like to show that I like to use some ink just on the center here, at least, because then I feel like you can really tell that it's like a double pocket. I hope that makes sense, kind of like that. And of course I'll ink up the rest of it, but not right now. And then for this one, I really also love adding some decoration in the center. You can see right here, I feel like it just really shows you that there's 2 pockets, but of course you can keep yours open or do it however you would like. Now for this one, I'm going to add glue along all of the edges except that open edge. I'm so sorry, my dog is eating so loudly. Whoops. And I'm going to add some in the center. I do like this to be 2 separate pockets, so that's, make sure I know where the top of that pocket is, and then go ahead and just lay it down. I love this gold paper so much. It's cardstock from Michaels, by the way, if you're curious. There we go, and this one just is so fun to decorate. I love this page idea. So here we go, decorated. You have the little pockets here and then the top. Okay guys, dang, we have 1 left. So let's move on now to this fun interactive expandable folder, file folder. So we're gonna quickly make the file folder. So I have just a piece that is 10 inches by 7 3/4 because this is also going to be our base page. Now I do leave an extra little 1/4 of an inch tab if you can see that, but we're going to just go ahead and fold this in half, leaving that tab as an extra little piece, if that makes sense. So we still have, now that it's folded, our 5 inches by 7 3/4. Now you can see that I have the white on the outside because we're mostly going to be covering this, and I wanted the pretty paper to be on the inside visible. So that's pretty much done. Of course, always you can ink the edges up. You can use a double-sided paper to make this pretty, or you can have the white on the inside of yours. I have a piece of copy paper, and this paper is 11 inches by 7 1/4. You're going to notice I did have to switch to voiceover because nonetheless I had my family come home right as I was trying to finish up filming. So let's hope this voiceover works well. I'm taking my copy paper and I'm going to fold it not quite in half. You're going to see I leave about 1 inch or so at the top, which I'll hold it up to the camera in just a moment so you can see it better. You can see. And then that is going to be folded right over so that it's like the flap of an envelope. Now I just go ahead and put this on top of my file folder to make sure it's a good size, because you can tell I'm not measuring here. I'm kind of just folding by trial and error. Next I'm going to take 2 envelopes. These are smaller envelopes. I think they are like 3.5 inches by 6, and I'm gluing down the flap. And then we are going to go ahead and cut a very small slit at the top so that they're basically just become small pockets. You could totally take a piece of paper and just fold it up and then glue the 2 sides so that you just have a pocket like that. But for me, I have a ton of these envelopes that I like to use up. So now we're going to take glue and just glue the center together like so. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be an exact amount, it just needs to be the center. I probably add 1.5 inches of glue on the center like this. Now you're going to add more glue to the front and the back, so you have your 2 envelopes glued together but just in the center. Now we're going to open up this little envelope and we're going to place the double envelopes right to the top, and then you close it up. You want to try and let this dry before you start to open it up, but I want to show you how it becomes an expandable envelope. Of course, if you open that up while it's still drying and everything, it's going to come apart. So let that dry. Now I'm going to just go ahead and cover our copy paper with some pretty scrap paper. I just went ahead and quickly measured this out to be just about the same size but a touch smaller. I plan to maybe ink up the edges or keep it. I don't know why I've really been liking the white frame around my copy paper lately, but I like it. And then I'll have a little strip here for the flap. Now you can go ahead and make a closure if you want, but I did not for this one, just to keep it super simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this on top of the file folder, and I wanted to create a top loading pocket. So once again, I will be gluing around the 3 edges, leaving the very top open. And then you'll have the little pocket at the top behind our envelope. And so this can really hold a ton of either photos, tags, memorabilia, you name it. And you can decorate these so fun. You can see I made a little closure on the original one. I just punched basically 2 holes, put one on the flap and one down in the bottom center, and I just tied some twine to go around kind of in a figure 8, if that makes sense. So that one is done. Now we have all of our page ideas done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next. Bye guys.